Could you uproot your family and leave all your loved ones behind to start a new life thousands of miles away? What if it didn't work out? Could you bring yourself to try it again, a second time?
Well, that's what the Pagnini family is attempting. After their dream move to California turned sour, they're determined to give it another try, this time for good.
We've done it once before. We've upset everybody. We've gone, we've come back, they've all been relieved that we're back. It makes this decision much more difficult.
It's an issue that could split the family.
Mike's mum's not happy at all.
Told him that time and this time, you're not going.
If they really liked it, I wouldn't be happy.
If they make the move, will they ever be able to afford to come home?
If I move over here, I ain't going back to England unless it's a necessary thing.
Not to visit?
No.
Why?
It's going to be hard. It'll be very expensive.
All right.
5 children.
All right.
By the end of the week, there will be a lot of soul searching.
I feel guilty about upsetting my family like that. The whole emotion that they're going through at the moment is all down to us. It's all our fault.
Make up your mind very quick, Michael and Claire, and come back to me.
Australia is still the most popular country of residence for Brits moving abroad. But although they may be tempted by the sun, sea and sand, almost a third return home every year.
The Pagninis may think they want to move down under, but have they thought it through? We've given them a week to see what life in Australia would really be like before they make one of the most important decisions of their lives.
The Pagninis currently live in the village of Timperley on the outskirts of Manchester. Painter and decorator Mike shares a home with Claire and their 3 children, 8-year-old Dylan and daughters Ashley 4 and Beth, who's 3. The family have had a taste of living abroad before when Mike's dad, who lives in California, asked them to join him.
It was about 6 years ago now, wasn't it? We moved to America and absolutely loved our life. It was fantastic. The house was amazing.
With a pool.
With a pool and 4 bedrooms. Then we realised the cost of living we hadn't really looked into. And we found it really difficult to live in a country where if your children were ill, you had to think, can I afford to take them to the doctor?
They chose to return home.
We were so excited to come home because we'd not seen everyone for 2 years. And so we were like, yes, we're going home, we're going to see everyone.
Kebabs.
And then we came back, we realised we'd made a bit of a mistake.
Yeah, within the first
10 minutes.
10 minutes, I think it was.
The 3-bedroom terrace they rent in Greater Manchester is a far cry from the spacious family home and pool they had in California. They're desperate to be able to afford the sunny outdoor life again.
This is probably the last shot.
This is the last shot, isn't it? Yeah.
We know that we want that kind of lifestyle. We're going to Australia to find it.
Mike is dying to follow his dreams.
I want to make it work 1,000,000%, and I'll do anything to make it work. I would up and leave and go tomorrow, basically, but my wife, being the sensible one, won't allow us to do that.
With strong ties at home, Claire has serious reservations about going.
For me, it's going to be really difficult to leave my family behind. I think that's probably the most important thing to me. It will be difficult to, I suppose, feel so segregated from everything that's going on, and I know from living abroad before that whenever there's a family do, if there's a wedding or a christening or a birthday, you feel totally left out. My sister and my mum are my best friends, and leaving them would be really difficult, very difficult.
So, the stakes are high for the Pagninis as they face a potentially life-changing upheaval yet again. But where in Australia should they go?
It would be Mike's occupation that would potentially get them into Australia. And fortunately, as a painter and decorator, his skills are needed across the country. They could go to Adelaide in South Australia. This planned open city is about half the size of London, with just 1/8 of its population, offering the Pagninis that relaxed urban lifestyle they're looking for. And with the average house price at over £100,000 lower than Sydney's, it's a cheap place for a family like the Pagninis to get started. But wages are lower here too, so Mike and Claire might have to work longer hours to make ends meet. Perhaps further east, the city of Melbourne is more appropriate as family incomes here are higher than the national average. Victoria's capital is the #1 destination for sport and culture and could be perfect for an outgoing family like the Pagninis. But it does come at a cost. The property market has soared in recent years, with the average house price one of the highest in the country. So Claire's dream of a massive home with a pool could be out of reach. And with a population of 4 million, could it just be too big for the Pagninis' first step? Maybe they'd prefer a smaller city such as Perth in Western Australia, where again there's plenty to do for a growing family. Property-wise, it's not a great deal cheaper than Melbourne, but as Australia's fastest growing city, it should offer plenty of work for Mike, if he can handle the competition. 1 in 8 residents here are British-born, so the Pagnini should feel at home while they find their feet.
Three good options for the family there, each with its benefits. So where shall we send them? We decided to send the Pagninis to experience life in Melbourne for their week in Australia.
With income playing such a crucial role for them, it's vital they go somewhere Mike can earn more. Whilst it's not the cheapest city for housing, there are less expensive areas in its growing suburbs. But can they really afford their Australian dream financially and emotionally?
I would be broken-hearted if they went to Australia. It's hard. That's it.
I don't want to be going back to England after 2 years. It's too expensive.
For him to just take it away like that makes me feel worse.
I should have been a bit more sympathetic, I think.
I'm feeling quite nervous at the moment. I don't know whether we're all going to vote the same. I really need to think about whether I can leave my family again and put them through all of that heartache again.
After 23 hours of flying, the family's potentially life-changing trip begins in Melbourne. Having crossed 3 continents spanning 10,500 miles, the reality of making such a long journey becomes clear.
Not being able to stretch your legs, not being able to move for so long, that's the worst. And the kids having to be sat still is just a nightmare.
The journey is the main factor in all of it.
Yeah.
With it being halfway across the world, it's not that easy just to whiz home, is it? So
Claire's already feeling the pressure.
Concerned about hating it, concerned about the journey home, concerned about Mike hating his job, concerned about it being way out of our price range and not being an option for us. That's probably the worst thing that could happen.
well, let's see. Let's hope it blows our mind, eh?
Yeah.
Mike knows he's got his work cut out if he's to convince Claire Australia is right for them. Everything rides on what she thinks of where they're staying. This is the type of house they could afford if they were to make the move.
I'll shut this boot because I don't know what the neighbourhood's like. But I know it's very warm. Very warm indeed.
In a house without air conditioning, Mike's using his head to keep cool.
You see, get a lot of people who do this. Stick their head in the freezer. Hey.
Look, this is the main bedroom.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, nice, but there's no bath.
Where's the bath?
There isn't a bath.
I've got to have a bath.
Oh no, there's no bath.
Right. We need to get a jacuzzi in, don't we? We'll have to get a jacuzzi.
I think we could get a better house than this.
We'll wait there for a minute.
Maybe the garden will make amends.
It's a really small garden. There's no grass. I don't like it.
Claire has dreamed of a large garden and a pool. So far, Australia isn't living up to her expectations.
I'm quite disappointed, really. I expected it to just look like California. So I expected it to be highways with lovely scenery either side and got myself so hyped up about everything, and I saw quite a lot of factories and
It will be like that.
graffiti and things like that. It makes me feel a bit gutted, really. I'm just a bit deflated now.
It's early days. It's.
I know. Well, I'm the pessimist. You're the optimist. So we'll see. Maybe you can woo me.
I've already done that.
Mike will have to do a lot more than a bit of wooing if he's going to persuade Claire to leave England and her family behind. Again. Back in the UK, the Pagninis rent a 3-bedroom terraced house in Timperley, a village on the outskirts of Manchester. If they decide to move, the family will have a budget of £200,000 with a mortgage. But will it be enough to get that big Aussie pad and pool that Claire is dying for?
The Pagninis' life-changing decision hinges on finances, and when it comes to buying a home, Melbourne offers a variety of lifestyle options, some more expensive than others.
They could live in the city and enjoy being in the midst of all the hustle and bustle. Affluent central townhouses can hit the $1 million mark, and although you're unlikely to get a pool, residents do benefit from having no commute to work. This type of place would be unaffordable for the family even if they got a massive mortgage, so they'd be better off looking for somewhere out of town. The coast is popular with many young families, and although Mike may face a long commute to work, Claire and the children would love lapping up the sunshine. Homes right on the beach can go for over $1 million. A short drive away, this 4-bedroom property in the trendy seaside suburb of Mordialloc costs £325,000 and is at the cheaper end of the market. Prices here have soared over recent years with the influx of a young wealthy generation, so the Pagninis would need to look further inland to accommodate their needs. A more realistic option would be the up-and-coming rural suburb of Werribee, where the family are staying for their trial week. Despite its fast direct links to the city, the area has retained its traditional country charm. Top-of-the-range properties like this 4-bedroom 2-bathroom Chelsea design would cost around £250,000. But there are plenty of houses here within the family's budget, including build-your-own homes. And with so many new developments, it could be an easy place for Mike to find work as a painter. We're going to show the Pagninis a range of properties in this area, but before we do, let's just check they've settled in okay. Oh no, what's happened?
Dylan was taking a shower and slipped and hit his head on the soap dish, and he's had to have 4 stitches. We had to ring an ambulance because we didn't know what to do. My poor baby. You frightened us to death, didn't you? Typical of the Pagninis.
With Dylan all bandaged, they're finally ready to visit the 3 properties we've lined up for them. The whole move rests on whether they can find a home they love within their price range. So will property number 1 be up to their high standards? Priced at around £200,000, it's just within budget. After Claire's disappointment with their temporary accommodation, it's vital she likes this one. Fingers crossed.
Is this the master bedroom then? I like it. It's a snooker table. This house is massive. It's gorgeous.
Claire's loving it, and the swimming pool has topped it off. But Mike's keeping very quiet.
How brilliant is that?
You like jumping in?
I really like this house. Yeah, I do. There's the barbecue area here, and then there's the swimming area there. I think it's perfect. What do you think, Mike?
No.
You don't like it?
It's a bit too compact. It's too much. It's
The
too
garden.
small. Yeah, it's too small. I want a big open plan.
That's safe. It's locked, so the kids can't
Yeah,
get
I
to
know,
the pool
but
without
I don't.
knowing.
No, I'd like to have a big open plan so I can sit there, just watch the children play. This way, they can be running around, go around the corner. You can't see. I want to be able to see them all.
Okay.
Pool. I just want it structured. Pool and swings and things like that. No, I don't like it.
Oh, poor Claire.
Just think we could go to sleep on him. Ready?
Right, Dylan. Come on. We all need to be out of this area now, Mike.
Right, just give him a quick go.
Just when she'd opened her eyes to what Australia could offer the family, Mike has demolished her hopes. If they can't see eye to eye, this move will never work. Perhaps they'll have better luck with the next one. Property 2 is a 3-bedroom show home situated in a newer development on the outskirts of Werribee. It's an example of a design-your-own property which should give the family an idea of what they could achieve for around their £200,000 budget.
Let's have a look around there.
Lord. Jack and Akanori. Chicken cacciatore.
That's really nice.
Yeah, well, I'll take this one.
Oh my, that is gorgeous. And this is all standard.
Just think of all the microwave meals we could make in here. Plenty of space for takeaways to just lay it all out. We're sorted.
And you're supposed to be the chef?
Well, you know, there's a cookbook, we can use that.
I hope Mike will be using that cookbook, but at least they're singing from the same hymn sheet at last.
I would love a house just like this. And to think as well that you'll buy the piece of land and then you'll basically design the whole house, won't you? So you've built your own
different
house.
Types of houses, isn't there? What was it, about 8 styles of houses?
Yeah.
So you just pick your style.
I think it's in here.
Plot of land, pick the type of house.
Yeah.
Claire can't wait to check out where they'd be sleeping.
This is the master
It's
bedroom.
nice in here.
This is
Lovely.
the Zohan room. Don't mess with the Zohan.
Hey, look at the size of the wardrobe.
Outside, Claire's quick to notice what's missing.
I bet you could fit a pool across there, couldn't you, anyway? So there probably is enough space on this plot, but you could always buy a bigger plot as well, couldn't you?
Wait a second, this size plot is at the top of their budget. Building a pool doesn't come cheap.
Maybe fit a small pool there.
You've got to be kidding.
Just
wouldn't have much space around the edge.
Just get the ones that you blow up, I guess. But,
They do seem to be getting a little ahead of themselves.
What you could do, if you had this plot of land, you could maybe change your bedroom around so that the doors open out to here and have that as your seating area, and then you've got all of this space for a pool.
all us English are bothered about is having a pool, I think.
I know.
Finally, the Pagninis are in agreement, but they're just not thinking about the cost. However, if Claire was to get a full-time job, they could push up their budget. With this in mind, they move on to property number 3. Priced at £230,000, it's a little more ambitious, but it does have the 4 bedrooms the Pagninis are really after.
It's another area here.
That's great, isn't it?
It's brilliant because this is a
Look at
lovely
that plasma.
space. I know, another one.
There may be more space than the family are used to, but with Claire working full-time, they'll need to factor in the cost of childcare and try to keep their feet firmly on the ground.
Oh, look at this.
Shabba.
Oh, it is really...
This is definitely perfect.
Look at the size of the wardrobe, Mike. We could put my mum and dad in there as a spare bedroom when they come to visit. It's that big.
If you say so, Claire.
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
It is
Beautiful
really
size,
nice. Absolutely lovely.
As this home is out of their budget, surely they're thinking more practically now.
So we'd have the pool sectioned off.
Oh dear.
Looks pretty spacious for a pool.
Yeah, we could get a slightly bigger plot of land than this so that we could have the pool as well as some extra space.
Anything else?
And then a grass area, wouldn't we? We wouldn't have all these stones and everything. We'd just have a nice grass area for the kids to play.
I don't think you get any grass areas, you just get your pool.
Surely there are more pressing concerns. Finances, perhaps?
Yeah, we'd get grass. We'd have grass all there and we could have grass all over there.
You're not allowed to water your grass over here, so you'd have to have AstroTurf.
Oh, no.
You're not allowed to water your grass.
Well, I'll just have brown grass.
At least they don't think the grass is always greener.
It's nice, that house, isn't it, Ash?
No, I like the other house the best.
Do you?
Joking aside, they desperately need to see whether the figures add up. Although they liked the homes overall, can they really raise the money to afford their dream place?
I really like the third house, but in order to be able to afford that, I'd have to work part-time, maybe full-time. We'd have to really look at the pros and the cons. So my main concern now is that the income that we'd be entitled to will be a lot less than I'm expecting. We need to really look at what we would earn compared to what we'd have to pay out.
Claire's sobering up to the massive financial risk that comes with a move, and as it's obvious where Mike would rather be,
Down under!
she's starting to realise the outcome rests heavily upon her shoulders.
I think Mike is more than happy to move over here, so the pressure is going to be solely on me to decide yes or no, because I think Mike will just come. He's just happy to come, so it's going to be down to me. And the family are constantly on my mind. At the moment, I just feel like it's crossed that bridge when I come to it, I think. Yeah, it's hard. Very hard.
It will take much more than a walk-in wardrobe and swimming pool for Claire to leave her family behind. For now, though, they only have to decide if they prefer houses in the UK or Australia.
This is our first taste of properties in Australia, and compared to the properties in the UK, we are going to vote for... Australia!
The Pagninis may prefer Aussie houses, but will they be able to afford the home of their dreams?
That's a lot.
And will Mike really convince Claire to leave her family and friends in the UK?
I've got a very good relationship with Claire.
She's my eldest. And we go everywhere together.
The Pagninis have a dream of a great home and lifestyle down under, but none of this could be possible unless Mike is sure he can get well-paid work.
Back in the UK, Mike takes home up to £30,000 a year as a self-employed painter and decorator.
At the moment here, I work part-time, and I would really rather be at home with the kids. If we were to get over there and find that there wasn't any work, or the pay was really poor, that would be a
Basically,
disaster.
if we can't survive.
Yeah.
Down under, Mike is off to see if he can bring home the bacon. With Claire desperate not to work in Australia, he's under added pressure to make ends meet.
A little bit apprehensive about coming to work today. It is a labour of love, I guess. When it comes to salary and wages, I just want a competitive rate.
Mike's here to meet local painter and decorator Bruce James, who could be a useful contact.
All right, Mike, if you want to start this wall here,
Yeah.
around up to the doorway,
Okay.
and we'll see how good a job you do, mate.
Being a professional painter, I'll show you how fast I can do it.
That looks pretty good, mate. We'll leave that at that, and you can come and roll some doors in the bedroom if you like.
Okay, great.
All right.
In the UK, Mike is self-employed. Moving to Australia would mean he'd have to start from the bottom again, working for someone else.
Basically, it's up to myself to meet people, get myself known. The wages might be a little bit less than what I'm on at the moment. So, yeah, that's a little bit daunting.
Meanwhile, the rest of the family are checking out Werribee Town Centre. It's vital Claire likes it, as it's the type of area they could afford to live in.
It's a real village feel to it. I feel like we're probably a bit out in the country around here, so it's like the village shops. I think I really would prefer somewhere maybe a little bit more modern. I'd like to have like maybe a big mall nearby, and I don't think there's anything like that around here. I think this is the town centre and that's it.
To afford somewhere more upmarket, Claire would definitely have to work.
I suppose it was a pipe dream to think that Mike would earn enough for me to be able to stay at home and we have this great lifestyle. In all honesty, that's probably not possible at all.
But there's help on hand. In the UK, Claire is a part-time office manager, so she's got a meeting with Linda Weldon, a local recruitment advisor, to find out more about opportunities down under.
Is there plenty of work out there for that type of role? Or...
There is work out there,
Yeah.
and it is growing. We're finding an increased needs coming from employers.
Right.
Looking at salaries, again, depending on the range of the responsibilities, you're looking at anywhere from 35,000 up to 60 plus if you wanted to. It just depends, size of office, responsibilities within that office.
If that is possible, then I'm quite pleased about that. The fact that there is a job out there for me makes it a lot better for me. Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
Thank you very much.
That's good news for Claire, but it's Mike's job that really counts. Working for someone else would mean being paid per square metre painted, so he'd have to put in a lot more hours than he's used to.
What's the average wage for a paint decorator?
They'd probably be averaging maybe $700 a week.
All right.
You basically got to go really hard if you want to make some good money.
It's a devastating blow. Mike would be on nearly half his UK wage.
So can you borrow us a tenner, please?
You'll need a lot more than that.
Basically, if I had work and my wife had work, I'm pretty sure we could afford our mortgage and get on.
But Claire wants a 4-bedroom house with a pool. They'll never be able to pay for that. Mike's so desperate to make the move, he's just not facing up to reality. It's time to vote for work.
It's been an eventful day, I've enjoyed it. I think when it comes to working over here, Australia gets my vote, and now I'm off for a cold one. See you later.
Mike just won't accept the consequences of a lower salary. But perhaps the reality will hit home when he sees how much it actually costs to live in Australia.
We've prepared a breakdown of their UK and Australian expenses, so the Pagninis can weigh up whether they can actually afford to live here.
Phone and internet, 65.
Council tax, 100.
There's the shopping list, that's what I'm interested to see. Potatoes, £1.98 in the UK, and it's £3.79 here.
Don't say anything. That's a lot. Look at the 6-pint milk.
Yep.
£2.25. And what is that in Australian?
£8.53 for 6 pints of milk. That is a lot.
And we use a lot of milk.
We do. That is a lot. I'm quite shocked at that.
If even the groceries are giving them a headache, what are they going to do about Mike's lower salary?
You'd earn £26,000, and you're earning... But that's self-employed, and this is employed.
Just put 30.
No, that's what it says there, £26,000. But I would earn way more, so that makes up for it anyway. But see, I work part-time there, and that would be full-time work.
That means Mike is no longer the main breadwinner. He doesn't like it.
I'm really pleased about that. Everything seems to be going well.
Yay!
With both of them working full-time, not only would they have to pay for childcare, but their dream of a better work-life balance is over. So will this affect their vote?
For the cost of living comparisons between Australia and the UK, we vote for... Australia. Why are you voting for England?
Because I think I'd earn a lot more money in England, and the prices of food over there is a lot more.
But I earn more here, so that's why I voted for Australia.
Well, I thought I'd earn more money in England, that's why I voted for England.
OK.
The prospect of Claire having to work full-time has finally made Mike think practically about how much this move would actually cost. But he's a man of many talents and won't give up without a fight.
Back in the UK, Mike used to be in a band, but for now he's restricted to jamming in the living room.
I used to play guitar every single day. I never put the guitar down. Basically, 2 more children came along, which was goodbye career. Obviously, in Australia, we might get a little bit more time to do things we want to do.
Mike is convinced he can start performing again to boost the family income. He's been offered a trial with a local band, but as Melbourne is the music capital of Australia, they won't be taking on any amateurs.
I'm actually very excited to meet Mike and see what kind of musician he's like, so yeah.
The crowds have gathered and eagerly await their surprise guest.
Mike's preparing to sing. He is a slightly little bit nervous at the moment.
A little bit apprehensive of playing in front of 300 Aussies. It's been a while since I've played and sang. I'm going to go down like a lead balloon.
Having not performed for over 20 years, this could be a disaster.
Hello, Australia. As I say, I'm contemplating on moving with my wife and family over here to this great country, and whilst I've been on my journey, I've penned a small song, so hopefully you might like it. Thank you. Oh, sorry, my guitar strap's broke. I will have a still, though. Sorry about that. Well, it never rains. Your sun is
Looks like he's a hit.
Nice to meet you. Cheers. Thank you for listening. It's a great experience. Great experience indeed. We were a really nice band. I mentioned that if I was ever in the area to go and give them a call, look them up.
Mike has made some good local contacts, but music and money aside, Claire's got other things on her mind.
It's so far away from home and leaving all of our family behind. That is the worst thing. So,
yeah,
don't even want to think about that.
Having moved abroad before, the Pagninis are all too aware of the emotional heartache of being separated from loved ones. For Claire, this move rests on whether she can bring herself to leave them behind for the second time.
We've gone, we've come back, they've all been relieved that we're back, and now we're going to do it to them all over again. So it makes this decision much more difficult, and it makes this move more important because we are now sort of responsible for everyone else as well. We have to make sure that if we do this to them again, it's going to be for good.
We've prepared some messages from friends and family back in the UK.
Hello, Claire and Michael, Dylan, Ashley and Beth. Hope you're having a lovely time.
We're really missing you and we can't wait for you to get back home.
Claire is Mike's lifeline. There was nobody in the world who could have stuck with Michael with his personality and being so wild. He had to have somebody like Claire who was very grounded, fantastic person, always been there for all of us.
She rings me at least 12 times a day.
The phone goes all the time. We don't have to look. We know it's Claire that's ringing.
I've got a very good relationship with Claire.
She's my eldest. And we go everywhere together.
Michael is a good son, very caring. Been on my own a long, long time. And I do see him quite a lot, really. And this is the thing, if they go to Australia and they really like it, it's me that's going to be left, you know what I mean? I would be broken-hearted if they went to Australia. It's hard. That's it.
When she said they were thinking about going to Australia, gutted, as I say, you know. When they went to California, we missed them terribly, and when they said they were coming back, we were over the moon, and now she's thinking about maybe going away again, and it's just bringing it all back, how to keep in contact with her, and missing the kids growing up, and her missing my kids growing up.
Told them that time and this time, you're not going, but took no notice of me. And then the children come up, we're going to Australia, Nana. I said, no, you're not. And, yeah, we're going to Australia, Nana. I said, are you? Well, what about me?
They would leave a big gap if they decided to go to Australia, yeah? A big gap. That's Claire's my only sister.
My life would be horrible. I love seeing the children, I love seeing them grow up, and I would miss Michael and Claire because they do look after me in lots of ways.
If, when they got there in Australia and they really liked it, I would like for them to stay. I wouldn't be happy, but I would like them to stay if that's what they wanted.
I know it's selfish, but I do love you with all my heart, especially the children. So make up your mind very quick, Michael and Claire, and come back to me. Love you. Bye.
I hope you've enjoyed doing everything that you wanted to do.
And I don't know what your decision will be, but whatever you choose to do is fine by me.
It's not.
Have a lovely time and hope to see you soon. We'll be coming to see you.
Okay, my darlings. Bye.
I'd never live in Australia without my family.
I think you'd enjoy it, son.
Yeah.
You would.
I feel guilty that they're all sat there upset, and that whole feeling and the whole emotion that they're going through at the moment is all down to us. It's all our fault. So, yeah, I feel guilty about that.
If I move over here, I ain't going back to England unless it's a necessary thing.
Not to visit?
No.
Why?
No point.
What do you mean there's no point?
Because I've lived there all my life. It's too expensive. The journey, you know what the journey's like.
Yeah, but we've got family there, Mike.
You know, if you feel like you want to keep going back to England every 2 years, you know, it's just going to cost us fortunes, isn't it?
Yeah, but when we lived in America,
the hardest
we needed to
thing
come
is
back
leaving.
to get rid of that homesickness feeling to be able to carry on.
It'd have to be a joint decision anyway,
Yeah,
but
it
mine
would, so
personally,
don't
I don't want to be going back to England after 2 years. It's going to be hard. It's going to be very expensive.
All right.
With 5 children.
All right.
I'm not putting a dampener on it, am I, for you?
Yeah, you are. Whether we came back to visit after the first year or two or not, the fact that I think I would be able to makes me feel better. For him to just take it away like that makes me feel worse.
That upset you be saying that?
Yeah.
It's just showing you reality.
Don't know now.
It might seem cruel, but flights visiting home for a family of 5 aren't cheap.
So you don't want to move to Australia then? No?
If Mike and Claire can't see eye to eye on this, they won't be able to make the move.
What upset Claire was, well, obviously seeing her mother. Her mother was crying and Claire was crying, and she'd miss her mother and her father and her sister and brother, and, you know, and I should have been a bit more sympathetic, I think, on saying, when I was trying to be a bit more pragmatic. I think I should have just gone along and said, yeah, you can fly home anytime you want. But I think, you know, after a year, she'd just get used to it, but I just let her think what she wants to think.
Seeing messages from loved ones has made the Pagninis confront the harsh reality that they may never be able to afford to return home. Mike has one last shot at convincing Claire the sacrifice is worth it.
Woo! Australia's Torquay Beach is a hot spot for surfing, but it's also safe and protected for young families.
I think if we were to move over to Australia, we'd want to live within 30 minutes drive of a place like this, definitely.
Dylan gets straight in there and makes new friends.
So here's what you gotta do. When you're out on the waves, when the wave's coming in, and before it starts to curl up, turn around, and then you just push off and sail. If you get caught in a rip, make sure you swim parallel to the beach and keep up with it. I'm a little bit nervous. I'll look after you.
You know, Dylan would be, he'd be in his element living here, he really would. I don't think he realises how much he would love it.
Dylan's like a professional already for his first time. He caught the best waves.
It's the best thing I've ever done. I just feel like going back into the sea and doing it over and over and over and over again.
For Mike, his experiences in Australia have opened new horizons.
It's just something out of this world. It's quite surreal, actually. It's a beautiful place. I think it's hit home. This could be a reality of life for us, and yeah, it's emotional.
But will the rest of the family agree? It's time to vote.
We've had a fantastic day at the beach today, and for the Oz lifestyle and the British lifestyle, we're going to vote for Australia!
Australia!
Claire may have voted for the Australian lifestyle, but is a beach really going to be enough to persuade her to leave her family behind and possibly never see them again? It's nearly time for the final vote.
The Pagnini family have emigrated before to California, but when it got too expensive, they returned to the UK, only to get itchy feet again.
This is probably the last shot now.
This is the last shot, isn't it? Yeah.
We know that we want that kind of lifestyle. We're going to Australia to find it.
Yet when they touched down in Australia, things were far from rosy for Claire.
After being here for about an hour, I felt like we'd made a mistake. It was too far away. Why were we even doing this to ourselves? The the journey is so horrific and it takes such a toll on you that it just made me feel like I was just wasting my time.
And when they discovered Mike's salary would be nearly halved down under, not only was their dream home out of reach, but they had to face up to the prospect of never having the funds to return to the UK.
Personally, I don't want to be going back to England after 2 years. It's too expensive.
For him to just take it away like that makes me feel worse.
Claire's family back home means everything to her. Can she really say goodbye to them forever?
Watching the DVDs is very upsetting. It's not nice to see your family members upset, and to know that it's your fault that they're upset makes it even worse.
If anything, you just want your whole family to come with you, you know, and enjoy and see all this.
This is a massive decision for me and Mike, but I think Mike's mind may be already made up, so I think the pressure's on me to make the same decision as him.
After watching the videos today, there could be a possible chance that she could vote back for England, yeah.
I'm feeling quite nervous at the moment. I don't know whether we're all going to vote the same. I've loved my time in Australia, but I think I really need to think about whether I can leave my family again and put them through all of that heartache again. So it's going to be a difficult decision for me, I think.
The whole family's future now rests heavily on Claire's shoulders. It's time for the final vote. What will she decide?
Well, it's the end of a beautiful week in Australia. We've had a really good time. We've all enjoyed ourselves, but it's time to vote now, and we're going to vote for Australia!
Australia!
Claire has decided to go for it.
Kids have loved it, me and Mike have loved it. This decision is ours, it's about our lives, it's going to be what's best for me, Mike and the kids.
But Dylan's going to take a little more persuading.
I want to stay in England because, well, I'll miss my family for a long time and I'll miss all my friends, but I'm pretty sure I'll have a lot of fun in Australia and I can't wait to go in the sea again.
Woo! I know that once we got him here, he would be glad that we made that decision. I mean, look at him, he absolutely loves it.
The Pagnini's journey has shown the financial as well as emotional cost of moving to the other side of the world. Claire has made a brave decision for her family's future. Let's hope it works out for them.
Continuing the new series of wartime drama Land Girls on BBC One this afternoon. That's at 2:15. First impressions of a flat aren't brilliant, but can the new owners turn it round? Homes Under the Hammer, next.